counts down and shit. That's decent. I didn't know it counts down. That's fucking decent.
Okay, so I'm here with my girl Trinity. This is Linksy. We're doing a video on about anal sex. Which do women prefer, anal sex versus oral sex? Looking at some surveys, haven't really quite found that actual survey to say if women prefer anal sex over oral, but something did interesting pop up. This article right here on the rise of anal sex.
I'm thinking about your comment that you put on.
Alright, so reading this article here, basically stating that they did a survey in 1992. They found that 60% of women aged 18 to 24 have tried the anal sex. Now the number is more like 40%, and yeah, they're saying that basically it's a rise. That is, it's basically like now 40, I think like 46, 33 to 46%. It's a huge rise, and we were just debating, me and Trin, is it more of a rise because people are trying it more, or people are more comfortable to really just talk about anal sex in general? Will we know of what women prefer, anal sex versus oral? Well, we definitely know women are trying more anal sex. And this is related to heterosexual couples. So I'm just going to say, Trin, what do you think about all of this? With the women that you've been around, work and whatnot, like people you've talked to on the street.
Word on the street? We're taking it to word on the street, BT. Like fucking 10 years ago. Word on the street is.
Well, these surveys are good and all, but you always wonder what groups of women do they ask, what cultures of women. So it's good to get.
Well, let's just put it out there. Are white women ass fucking and sucking dicks more than black women and Spanish women and Asian women? I don't know the answer to that. I don't think so.
I don't think they have done a survey on that yet.
You know what? I think this is the truth. For years, let's keep it real. In the black community, white women were always the freak boxes that we snubbed our noses at. They were the bitches who sucked dicks and let men do whatever they want. Exactly. That's what we knew.
They were into the S&M before we knew about it.
They were into the S&M. They were into sucking dicks. Like, they would suck dicks at 12.
We just thought that that's just their culture.
Right.
It it's not really, a cultural thing for us.
No.
We're not going to really brag about it like it's something. So it didn't seem like it was rampant in at least the black community we could talk about.
Right, like it wasn't, like, I remember being younger, and when I was younger, it was fighting words if a dude was like, yo, you suck dick. Like, somebody is going to get their ass whooped. You know what I mean? Like, just like back in the day, if you talked about somebody's mom, you get your ass beat. You cannot tell somebody that they sucked a dick, a chick back in the day, especially no black chick, that she sucked the dick and is going down like that. Like, you just going to be like, yo, you sucked the dick. We have
come such a long way. I did not know that that women, well, I can't imagine because I wasn't living there at that time, but women didn't want to be associated with oral sex. Like, that was
that was like such a
that was such a
it was so risque,
disrespectful thing to say.
It was disrespectful. It was just like, it was something that I know that black women did not say that they did. I mean, nowadays the culture that, like, the kids nowadays at 14, 15, fucking, I heard 11-year-olds, 10-year-olds talking about sucking a dick. Like, it's cool to suck a dick now. So it's kind of like, is it a rise of certain shit, or is it just maybe we're just starting to catch up to where other people were?
I think we're catching up. I think we're catching up because of the media and the pornography that's becoming more of a common day. People are accessing it more on the internet, and it's changing the culture. Let's just be honest. Like, it's changed our culture and our community and what we see as sex, as like regular sex, as they call it. Like, it's no longer a taboo anymore. Is that a good thing, bad thing? That's for us to really decide on that. Definitely in the issues of how we'll talk about that. But back to our issue, is anal. What is more preferable for women, for black women, anal sex or oral sex?
I think most women would prefer
the oral.
The BGs. Yeah. I mean, who wants to get fucked in the ass? Nobody wants to get fucked in the ass. I don't give a fuck. Like, even if you like getting fucked in your ass, if you're gay, you still don't want to get fucked in your ass. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you think even on in the homosexual community, they don't like receiving? in the anal sex department.
I mean, for men it's different, I think, because it's like, I don't really think it's different for men. I mean, you can get your ass played with, I'm assuming, and get your jollies off, whether you're a man or a woman. I'm just, hey.
The actual, like, initiation of something coming in to widening up. Like, I was reading here, not in this particular article, but another survey was stating that, like, the rectum is very thin and that it's prone to breakage, and that's why a lot of STD, on a health reason, they rated anal sex as the most hazardous because of it, because it's so thin, the rectal walls, that it could be pierced easily, and then, you know, there's bleeding there, there's infection, there's STDs, there's more, you know, entryway for you to be sick. So that makes me think about a lot of things. Who would think that is pleasurable? I would like to find somebody their first time having anal sex if it was pleasurable.
If people want to give comments, please do, because
please do.
I can only give my opinion. I know there's no way that I prefer ass fucking. I don't prefer giving head neither. Like, shit, if I had it my way, like, you know, like, being completely honest, I said to somebody, and I'll be completely honest, and this is probably because it's so late at night, whatever, but I said to somebody, I'm so horny because it's been so many months since I've had sex. I want to suck a dick just because. That's bad, like, because I don't care to suck, to give BJ.
But Trinity, if you ask yourself, this is you now, experience yourself, if you ask yourself maybe 10 years ago when you weren't really having sex like that, so Trinity, you know...
don't put my age out there. We ain't put my age out there.
Well, I'm not, you know, I'm just saying hypothetically, 10, 20 years, whatever, right? Like, let's just say, all right, when you're having sex now, your experience, you're used to having oral sex. If you ask the younger Trinity, you know, the more youthful Trinity, would they like to have oral sex? Your youthful Trinity would probably say something like...
Oh, I thought you was going to fill in the blank.
No, I mean, like, what would you say? If you could talk to your younger self about oral sex.
My younger self, do you want to suck a dick, younger self? Let me see what she says. She's saying not really. No, not really. She'll do it just because, but no, not really. She's not really trying to suck any dicks. No, I mean, honestly, like, I watched porn for years, you know what I'm saying? I remember sneaking and watching Real Sex when I was 11, you know what I'm saying? Cinemax After Dark.
I remember that. Red Shoe Diaries on Showtime.
Emmanuel.
Taking it back.
Yes, Emmanuel. Everyone knows about those things.
Now it's like...
It's everywhere.
Now it's everywhere, and the sex shows back then when we were growing up, it was actually, if a younger person looked at that, they wouldn't even consider it as a sex show.
It wouldn't be.
They would consider it maybe like something like a romantic flick, maybe. I don't know.
You think they would think Real Sex is a romantic flick?
They probably would. Like, it's just about dating and like Sex in the City. They would probably relate it to that.
But Sex in the City, well, they could relate it to that. I think, here's the problem. The problem is that people think that there's nothing wrong with anal sex. There's nothing wrong with oral sex. It's just, if you don't want to do one or the other, why are you doing something that you don't want to do? You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem I think that all women have. We have this thing of, we're trying to please a man, but fuck that. When is the men trying to please us? Exactly. And I know I sounded so uneducated just now when I said, when is the men? But I'm dead fucking serious. When are these motherfuckers going to be going out of their way to please us? You don't see no dudes talking about eating pussy because it pleases their woman. No. They eat pussy because they want to get pussy.
Well, it depends.
That's why they eat pussy.
It depends on probably your culture too. I think and another survey too, they were talking about French Canadians, and so maybe depending like your culture, like if you're of French descent, you might have more of a comfortability with these issues. Like, I mean, you might say, "Oh yeah, I like doing that." Like you'll be less restrictive in the sexual department.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if bitches like sucking dicks and they like getting fucked in the ass, then that's what you say. Hey, I like sucking dicks. I like getting fucked in the ass. Right. People need to know, especially women. We should know where we draw the line, because so many times we are performing for other people versus ourselves.
Exactly.
We never take care of ourselves. We don't handle ourselves. Like, how many women will be fucking and never once have an orgasm with a dick inside of them? That to me is just amazing.
It's actually, I think,
it's very common. It's number one.
If someone just goes to like, I don't know if I'm going to find it here. If someone just goes to a survey here on search engine, you could find tons of surveys here, especially about like orgasms and how a certain amount of women, maybe 20 or 30%, I think, don't even have orgasms.
20 or 30% is completely inaccurate. That number is much, much higher.
You think that's much higher?
I know that number is much higher because I can tell you that I've been around for long enough to have talked to literally tons of different women, and I have talked to tons of different women, and I've talked to your common variety hoe, to your uppity bougie ass housewife who hasn't done anything, and I can tell you that most women, out of all the women that I talk to, I would say maybe a good 10% have actually had an orgasm from penetration.
Okay, I'm going to read here. This article from the Ass Man Cometh, Experimentation, Orgasms, and the Rise of Anal Sex. I think it's by the same author, like just a different article. Well, what caught my interest is right here, reciprocity. We're talking about female orgasms. Women are getting as good as they're giving by ages 25 to 29. 88% say they've received oral sex from a man. 72% say they received it in the last year. Okay, men confirm this. 86% say they've given it. 74% in the last year. That's pretty close to 91% of men aged 25 to 29 who say they've received oral sex from a woman. And the 77% who say they received it in the past year. So if I'm reading this right, it sounds like we're giving it more than we're receiving.
Of course we are, because we try to please a man. When they gonna please us? When is the motherfucker gonna take a bitch out to Applebee's or to fucking Olive Garden and go, you know what, bitch, you cool as shit. Let me eat your pussy just cuz.
Woo!
Just cuz. Not eat pussy because I want pussy, because that's what they do. No man eats pussy just to eat pussy. No man is like, yo, I'ma please her, so let me eat this pussy. No. Men eating pussy because they want pussy. It's like, yo, if I eat her pussy and I try to do good, that'll get her coochie wet enough where she wants a dick.
She can hold out to reciprocate.
Right. She gonna be like, oh, let me get some.
I guess like the moral is, is to really just kind of hold out and have boundaries and not just be so willing to give it, especially when we're talking about anal sex. When I think like universally, maybe I might be too bold to say that, but I really think like on the first try, that's not something that a woman is going to get pleasure off the bat with anal sex.
I don't think anybody gonna get pleasure off of getting fucked in the ass right off the bat. I mean, speaking from experience as a person who's tried it, okay. I've never enjoyed it. It's something that I've done. When the coochie was off limits.
Who hasn't done it? Like, yeah, it's still a taboo, but honestly,
it is. We're
talking about sex. Most people have done it and tried, or at least tried it once.
Everybody's at least tried it.
It hurts like hell. That's why we don't really go back and do it.
No, and it's not like you have to do too much. Like, sex shouldn't be that much. You know what I'm saying?
It shouldn't hurt. It shouldn't even.
No, I don't. Hey, there's nothing wrong with some painful fucking, okay? But I don't want painful fucking in my ass, number one. Number two is like, you shouldn't have to do all that for something to feel good. Like, it's sex. It's an intimate act with something that you do, with somebody that you do. Well, it's an intimate act that you do with someone that you either care about or you don't give a fuck about. But either way, it's still intimate.
It should definitely be, at the end of this, your choice. It should be about freedom. It should be about enhancing yourself with the other person.
But see, then where's the line drawn when it comes to just people who just want to hook up? Like, if you just want to fuck,
it has to be clear. Like, you have to be honest with folks, like what you're about. Like that's
right.
I'm for that. I'm for
that. Honesty is needed.
Honesty is needed. Like, this is what I'm looking for.
Right. We just want to fuck.
Can we still align ourselves and still agree and still get together in this social connection? So that's what it is. It's about honesty. It's about making sure you're
communication
aligns with the person. Especially for young girls who are about to have sex. Definitely.
But see, that's the thing. I mean, most of these guys have no idea what they're doing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, yeah, you can give a guy a blowjob. You can let him, give you anal sex, like, fuck you in your ass. But at the end of the day, if he don't know what the fuck he doing, and if he don't know how to work his shit, then you just getting fucked in your ass and sucking dick for nothing. Because you ain't going to get no pleasure out of it. I mean, here's to me why anal sex is not.
So Trinity, we're gonna have to do a part 2 because we're winding down.
Oh shit, is it?
Yes.
It's been 15 minutes.
It's been almost 15 minutes. Part 2 coming up.